Cannon's latest order today cleared the way for the release of the volume on Trump's 2020 election interference case.
Trump is dealing with yet another major legal loss this week, now that Judge Cannon has ordered a denial of his attempt to delay the release of Jack Smith's special report.
So all eyes are on the January 6th report. And then this decision just a few minutes ago, Judge Cannon, she cleared the way for this report to possibly be released.
It's been up and down whether or not this report is ever going to see the light of day. And Trump has vowed that he will kill it once he takes office. So this is a major victory for us regular Americans who are tired of a two-tier justice system. We want to know the truth, goddammit.
And the truth shall set you free.
It is the latest ruling in a court dispute over the highly anticipated document just days before Trump is set to take office once again. A temporary injunction barring the immediate release of the report remains in effect until tomorrow, and it is unlikely Judge Cannon's order will be the last word on this matter. Defense attorneys, they might seek to challenge this all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, Judge Cannon had earlier temporarily blocked the department from releasing the entire report on Smith's investigations into Trump that led to two separate criminal cases. Cannon's latest order today cleared the way for the release of the volume on Trump's 2020 election interference case. She also set a hearing for Friday on whether the department can release to lawmakers the volume on Trump's classified documents case.
So, to be clear, this order paves the way for the first investigation, which is into the situation surrounding Jan 6th. The situation with Donald Trump storing national secrets in his bathroom, that's the case that Merrick Garland is refusing to release to the public, and the judge isn't going to force him to release it.
That's when the Department of Justice would have been free to release both volumes of the report, but for what she did today. And that's what I want to explain to you and our viewers. She is saying she is not going to grant a further request from President Trump's lawyers to extend that injunction as to volume 1 of the report, which concerns the federal election interference case. But as to the second volume about the Mar-a-Lago documents case, she is going to indefinitely extend an injunction that prevents Attorney General Merrick Garland from releasing the report to the public or even to members of Congress, what they suggested they wanted to do. And as for the suggestion that she didn't even have the authority to enter this order, Judge Cannon taking umbrage of that, saying the 11th Circuit never said that she didn't have that authority, and that because this concerns the release of information that directly implicates the trial rights of Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, those are the two co-defendants in the Mar-a-Lago case, that she has an obligation, and I'm quoting from her order, to preserve the integrity of this proceeding should the 11th Circuit find that her order dismissing the case outright was an error. Of course, many of us think we'll never get to that point because once President Trump takes office again, he could either dismiss the appeal of her dismissal and or pardon both Nauta and de Oliveira, making it sort of a moot point.
President-elect Donald Trump, when he was out of his presidency related to the January 6th efforts to overturn the election, but also the Florida classified documents case. Now, both of those cases had been dismissed, but Smith was still expected to release this report before Trump was set to retake office. And we know that Trump's attorneys had been reviewing the final report over the last several days. And after that, they then released this letter pleading with Garland not to ultimately release this report.
Pleading with him not to release the report. So I'm sure all of us are curious what dirty little secrets are in those two reports. Well, it looks like Judge Cannon's decision today might make it so that we at least get to see one of those reports.
Paula just mentioned one of the questions I had for you, which is the appeals. Let's just go with the fact that the Trump legal team will appeal this. Hard to imagine they won't. Then ultimately it could get to the Supreme Court. This Supreme Court, which on a very different matter, but obviously it had a lot of political ramifications, last week said that the sentencing in the hush money trial could go forward for Donald Trump. Does that give you any sense of how it could go down if the Supreme Court gets this in their lap in the next couple days?
Well, Dana, I don't think Donald Trump's team has any legal standing here. I don't think they're going to succeed either at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals or even at the Supreme Court, because what the Trump team would essentially be asking to do here is to prohibit DOJ from releasing the January 6th special report. That's separate, as Paula said, from the classified documents report. There is simply no legal basis on which a court can stop DOJ from releasing that. So first of all, the special counsel, Jack Smith, has to create that report. He's already done that. We know that. Then it's up to the attorney general whether he wants to release it. And there's simply no legal basis for a court, whether the Supreme Court on down, to come in and say, no, attorney general, you cannot do that. More to the point, Donald Trump really can't show any ongoing prejudice here because he's already been dismissed from these two cases. That's actually why the classified documents decision to hold that one back and to keep that one just with Congress, it's a different case because there's still two defendants live in that case. So ultimately, I do think this report's going to come out, but Dana, it's all about managing the calendar and the clock here. If Donald Trump can hold this thing up another week, almost to the moment when he will become the next president, then his DOJ can choose not to release it. So just to sum up, I don't think he has any legal basis to get a court to stop it. But if he can gum things up for another 7 days, then it becomes his DOJ, and I'm sure they will not release it.
Yeah, such a good point. Thank you so much.
Donald Trump is the king of gumming things up, as I'm sure whoever cleans his underwear is well aware.
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
So everybody cross your fingers that in the next 7 days, they're able to release this report, and all of us can finally see the extent at which Donald Trump tried to overturn our election. I say release them all immediately and deal with the consequences afterward, because we only have a week until the shit show begins, and there's absolutely no way Trump's DOJ is going to release those reports. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.